Do you aspire to become a millionaire? Most individuals certainly do, but it's a notoriously difficult quest. The widening wealth disparity between rich and poor makes it appear unachievable for most of us. According to the most recent Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report, millionaires account for fewer than 9% of the US population. Nonetheless, according to the same report, there will be 1.7 new millionaires in the United States in 2020. According to Thomas J. Stanley, a management theorist who analyzed over 1,000 billionaires for his book The Millionaire Next Door, 80% of US millionaires are first-generation wealthy. That is, they did not inherit their riches, but rather created it. These figures have made me wonder what it takes to overcome adversity and reach the American dream. What does it take to become a billionaire if you don't come from a wealthy family? After speaking with dozens of improbable millionaires, I believe the first step to achieving wealth, at least for those who are not born into it, is much more personal than developing billionaire habits or prudently investing. Such efforts frequently fail to address the institutional and mental challenges that many marginalized groups confront as a result of growing up without access to wealth. Rather, I would say that altering your thinking or developing a wealth-oriented mindset is the first step toward achieving it. This entails believing that riches is available to you and that you're deserving of it despite the structures in place to keep it from you. Without such mental motivation, the other tactics are essentially meaningless. I interviewed 2 black women multimillionaires under the age of 40 to learn more about how to reach this attitude. Terry Ijoma, an assistant professor turned trader who has sold $30 million in online classes, and Rachel Rogers, CEO of Hello7 and author of We Should All Be Millionaires. I also chatted with Michelle Richberg, founder of Richberg Enterprises, and certified financial advisor Jacqueline Shidek, both of whom work with many first-generation wealth builders. Here's what I took away from our discussions. Allow yourself to get rid of restrictive notions. Developing an abundance mindset or believing that there are enough resources and opportunities for everyone takes conscious work for the majority of us. This is especially true for those who grew up with few resources and little access to riches. According to a Purdue University study, many of our financial habits are developed by the age of 7. That is, our sentiments regarding money are heavily influenced by how others talk about or act around it. When you grow up without money or the resources to make enough of it, believing that there is a scarcity of resources, or seeing those around you living paycheck to paycheck, you may be more inclined to assume that prosperity is reserved for a select few. You're also not entirely incorrect. Many of the mechanisms and institutions that we employ to create wealth were created to prohibit marginalized people from leaving the poverty that America had enslaved them in. If you identify with one of these communities, your thinking may be influenced. Expecting abundance when you don't see it around you takes greater effort. Every day, our minds are filled with negative notions. We begin to believe those notions if we do not learn how to filter them. They can eventually lead to a scarcity mindset, which leads to scarcity actions, or what I call broke-ass decisions, Rachel Rogers explained. Rogers believes that we should not ignore our unfavorable experiences. Instead, she proposes that we use them as fuel to help us build a better future. Changing your ideas, for example, will not reduce racism or violence against black people, Rogers added. Racism poses numerous problems and impediments to our potential to accumulate wealth. Having said that, we may use our thinking to pick up a more effective and empowering reaction to the racism we encounter. Our rage may be a tremendous motivator for action. Rachel believes that reprogramming our brains to expect wealth is important, and she emphasizes the need for making million-dollar decisions before becoming a millionaire. This entails doing some thought work or the act of intentionally paying attention to your thoughts and then choosing to entertain different ones instead, as Roger puts it. She suggests doing this on a daily basis. I do thought work every single day, even though I manage an 8-figure business, she explained. You will begin to take more positive choices when you think more positively about yourself, your career, your intelligence, and your financial decisions. After some practice, it can eventually change your life for the better. Million-dollar decisions, according to Rogers, generate time, energy, and options. You're making a million-dollar decision when you apply for a job. receive an offer, and make a counter offer because you know your worth. When you ask for a raise, research industry rates, and make a case to your boss, you're making $1 million decision as opposed to being overwhelmed and not acting at all. Finally, if you don't shift your perspective and believe that you deserve abundance no matter where you start, you'll miss out on enormous chances. Recognize that money is not necessarily a bad thing. Money is the source of all evil, as the adage goes. Because of that belief, many people, particularly those who've had unpleasant formative experiences with money, will refrain from pursuing wealth. Understanding that you can utilize your money to do good in the world, on the other hand, can be a game changer. Terry Ijoma, who began her career in education and nonprofits, told me that she had long believed she needed to work in a church to help others. She didn't understand there were other ways to give back to her community until she gained riches through trading and began teaching others how to trade for financial security. She now utilizes her money to help others gain access to school, giving them a better opportunity of achieving financial freedom like she did. Similarly, Rogers went to law school because she wanted to work for a nonprofit and advocate for underserved communities. Family pressures and my school loan debt eventually led me to abandon my passion in order to get money. I flew across the country, interviewing for positions I didn't want. I was eventually offered a position as an associate attorney with a firm that represented big oil firms. Rogers' confidence that she could strike a better balance between earning and giving led her to decline the position and start her own firm. She attributes her decision to her Aunt Barbara, who covered the remaining debt on her college tuition, and the parents of a girl she used to babysit, who taught her that not all wealthy people are terrible. Now, through my business, I assist thousands of women and other people of underrepresented populations in increasing their earning potential, and I make millions in the process. What is the main takeaway? Money has the ability to accomplish both good and evil. Don't let fear keep you from chasing money or the kind of paycheck you need to support yourself and your goals in life. That would be like giving up before you had started.